welcome to All Red Olympic Pool as we cap off a fantastic preview day with the Battle of Orange between the Concordia Golden Eagles and the Chapman Panthers. There is no better cherry on top to this fantastic Saturday of Chapman athletics than some women's water polo. Earlier, Chapman men's lacrosse won in a dominating performance over UCLA, but now we look poolside for tonight's entertainment. Hello everyone, my name is Ben Bauman. Joining with me is the amazing Caroline Chang. We also have Grace Luttrell down on poolside for us doing some sideline reporting. But Caroline, how are you feeling today? And more specifically, how are you feeling about today's game?
I am feeling so great about today's game. It was such a great day to cap off preview day here at Chapman University, but it's going to be an even more epic twilight match here between Concordia University and the Chapman Panthers. They faced off earlier this season, and no doubt about it, but it's going to be an exciting one tonight.
Speaking of that earlier face-off, it was a 12-11 win for the Concordia Golden Eagles over the Panthers. We have here on screen some of the stats from that game. Caroline, what do you see from these?
Now, of course, Concordia came away with that 1-point lead, but something that's important here is Chapman, a Division III school, and Concordia Division II school had very close shot percentages, and Chapman a little bit with that lead. However, Eagles battled on the other side with better sprints. They had 3 sprint wins during that game, whereas Chapman only had 1. And both teams going to be a little tired today. They had afternoon matchups, so it'll be interesting to see what they can bring to tonight's table here at the All Red Aquatic Center.
So true, Caroline, but one Panther that is trying to even out the series at 1-1 is sophomore number 7 attacker Kendall Papan from Simi Valley, California. Papan is 10th in SCIAC in goals at 49, 3rd in SCIAC in assists at 38, 3rd in SCIAC at sprint wins at 29, 4th in sprint win percentage at 59.2%, and 4th in SCIAC in points at 87. She is the perfect Robin to Alyssa Fricker's Batman on this team.
I mean, speaking of superheroes, I've got my own on the Concordia Eagles, and that's going to be number 4 freshman attacker Anna Tukos from Hungary. She came down here to California, and she's an absolute shark in the water for Concordia, tallying 67 goals, 23 steals, and a shot percentage of .450. She's going to be an important player to look out for tonight's game, and I'm super excited to see what she can do in the water.
Now, I mentioned earlier that you were going to meet Grace Luttrell very soon. Well, guess what? Very soon is right now. Grace, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, great to hear from you. I had the chance to talk to Kendall Papan earlier today after the Cal Lutheran game. Unfortunately, they did end up short, about 8-9 at the end of the game. But Papan said that, today is all about high energy. They're going to have that high intensity you see. They're aware that during some parts of the games and past games that they've had a rough time trying to get their energy up, but she said to expect the high intensity at the start of the game and for this to be a really great battle. They're looking forward for the extra practice that they get ahead of the SCIAC tournament, which will be coming up shortly, so they're excited for that, and they're really wanting to focus on communication in the team. I'm really excited for this matchup. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Grace. As we toss it down to the poolside, we're going to talk about those games that happened prior, starting with Concordia. Today they played Biola, won that game 14-10. Very solid game for them. And then for the Chapman side, they came off of a win, a very dominant one over Occidental College, 23-12, but today lost in the last few minutes against Cal Lutheran, 8-9. Did you see anything from that, Caroline?
I mean, it was a very intense matchup for each of these teams, and it was very tiring, obviously, of course. But Chapman, really hard loss for them in that very last quarter. Meanwhile, for Concordia, that's something good for them to come off with this win. They are last in their conference right now, so it is really great to help them boost their morale. And with that win against Biola, that is some momentum they want to take into tonight's game. But, you know, Chapman probably a little hungry for revenge, especially after such a devastating loss. They want to take it out, especially with that very tight last game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight.
Sweet, sweet revenge. And that is what the Panthers are trying to get tonight as the game is about to start. It's a win by Concordia. Gets it to number 11 on the team. Gets it to the wing. Up to the point. To the flat. To opposite wing, and it's a steal. Zoe Francis, the goalkeeper for Chapman, now with the ball. Sends it down to Papan. Ordinary foul called on Concordia. Play continues. Papan sends it over to Eves, and it's a goal for Eves.
Riley Eves puts that one away. An early lead for the Chapman Panthers in this game. That is something we've been seeing from Chapman across the season is in the first half, they come out aggressive. They come out strong. Although Concordia got that sprint win, Eves put that one up on the board for Chapman.
Now Concordia looking to retaliate after that goal by Eves to start off the game. Sends it down to the wing, number 10, Allison Corbett, now up to the flat. Sends it back down to the wing, looking for the center. Pass it over to the flat. Looked for the shot, but just slipped out of her hands.
You can see right there how incredibly important it is to have dry passes. Concordia needs to keep up those dry passes in order to keep that ball away. But, of course, you know, Chapman has given their defense all, so it's difficult to keep that ball up in the air when you got somebody pressing on you.
Ordinary foul on Concordia. Papan gets it over to Eves again. Now down to number 4, the star player, Alyssa Fricker. Tries to get it over to the other wing. And Chapman just throws it away. Concordia now with the ball.
See, again, with those passes, just a little short, which meant it fell into the hands of Concordia.
Now down to number 10, Corbett. Corbett swings it up top, then swings it over to the other flat. It's a shot. Amazing save by Francis. And just rainbows the ball in there over Zoe Francis. That'll be a goal for Concordia. Number 9, it'll be Presley Ascoda, or Acosta, my apologies.
Great one for Acosta there. Nice, clean lob shot that she secured in the back of the cage. But unfortunate, you know, for Zoe Francis, she's been a really important force for them. But you saw what a great shot block there. She's put away 246 saves on the season. Add another one to those. Francis, only a junior in there. She's a really important goalkeeper for them on the Chapman side.
And all those saves from Francis makes her first in the SCIAC in total saves.
6-on-5 opportunity here for Chapman. Let's see if they can execute on this power play.
Up to Papan. Papan, the shot off the crossbar and in. Beautiful shot by Papan.
Absolutely, Papan really just putting it away for there. No wonder she's a key player for tonight's game. You know, leading in the 10th in SCIAC for goals. She is really a strong player. So 6-on-5 opportunities that allow Chapman to get up up a notch there. And now we're here 2-1. Chapman up by 1 against Concordia in the first.
And that was assisted by Alyssa Fricker, who's just continuing on a very dominant season. As an amazing save by Zoe Francis. Gonna stay Concordia ball. Sends it down to the opposite wing. Looks up to point, passes a little strong. Turnover on the play. Chapman with a fast break opportunity right now. Papan with the ball. Trying to get past her defender. An ordinary foul called on Concordia. Never mind, 6-on-5 opportunity right now for Chapman. Eves now with the ball. Sends it up top to Papan. Papan the shot, and it's another goal. Papan already with 2 goals tonight.
She is absolutely on fire. 6-on-5 opportunities twice in a row, and she's been able to capitalize on those opportunities. You can take a look in that replay right there. She kind of skid that one right across the water. Not quite an off the water shot, but it snuck into the back of the cage.
Now Concordia looking to retaliate, down 2 goals now. Gets it up to the point. Down to the wing, and it's a shot, just hit the crossbar. Francis now with the ball, looking for an opening. Sends it down to Papan. Doesn't look like she noticed the ball. Costly turnover for Chapman right there, as Concordia now retains possession. Concordia pass it up to the flat. Back to the other side. Looking for a shot. Gets it down to the center. And just misses the goal entirely.
Yeah, that was an attempt there by Edwards, trying for that little backhand slip, but it seemed to flip a little too far over the cage, but a little hustle there from Edwards.
Chapman star Alyssa Fricker gets it to Papan. Ordinary foul called on Concordia. Another one called, and an amazing save, amazing diving save by Concordia's goalie, Jaden Soto. First time saying her name this evening. I expect to say that a lot more. Gets it into the center. And that's so easy. Right on net, right in the goal.
You know, Concordia just fired right back there. That was Monroe Blem. She put that one away pretty strong there. You're already seeing very close match so far in this replay. Great cross cage in the corner shot, very strong. Those types of shots are really important because that really is what guarantees you a goal, because goalies cannot reach those top corners, so those are the best places to aim for. So great play there by Blem, and now look at that, we're very close here still in the first.
3-2 now, lead for Chapman, still in the first. A lot of scoring early on in this game so far. Up top to Papan, just a bit wide on that shot from up top. Now we have Soto with the ball, looking for an opening. Sends it down to number 11. Number 11, Smiley. Zoe Francis with the save. Gets it over to Chapman's star, Alyssa Fricker. Fricker getting it down to Eves. Heavy defense being played on Eves. Now Fricker with the ball, and another amazing save by Soto.
Yeah, Fricker trying to get something going there. She tried to move herself towards the center and get a shot off, but not in time.
Cross pool pass by Concordia. 6-on-5 opportunity now for Concordia, as that foul was on number 3, Riley Eves. Concordia looking for the man-up opportunity. Gets it into the center. That's an amazing steal by Chapman right there. And a timeout called.
I think a little bit of a mix-up there. Maybe another 6-on-5 called just now, plus a timeout. But as you can see, if you could see right there, during that play, Concordia was trying to get a redirect shot off, and those are really powerful because it's almost like a catch and shoot, but super fast, and it helps you really capitalize on those power play opportunities. But Chapman, you're talking about great defense on those 6-on-5s, whereas Concordia has been unable to get some of those so far in the game. Chapman, they've already been able to get 2 goals on those plays.
And both of those goals coming from Papan, the outside shooter for this Chapman Panthers team. Fricker to Papan. Papan down to the lower wing. Back up to Fricker. Papan now takes the shot, and it's another great save by Soto.
Strong shot there by Papan, but unfortunately Soto was right there to block it. Something you don't want to do is shoot right at the goalie, but a very clean shot still. But Soto, she is the iron wall for those Eagles right now.
Corbett now passes it down to the wing, gets it into the center. Great defense by Chapman there. As Zoe Francis recovers the ball, looking for an open player down the pool. Finds Fricker. Fricker already with an assist tonight, looking for the goal. And it's a 6-on-5 opportunity for these Chapman Panthers.
Great pull for the Panthers here. They definitely want to see if they can get something. Seems like it's still a 6-on-6. And look at that. Soto comes out of the cage to fish that one out of the water.
So after the first period of play between the Chapman Panthers and the Concordia Golden Eagles, Chapman now up 3-2. Caroline, do you see anything within this first period of play?
Well, I mean, already it's very close. It's 3-2. Chapman up by 1. We did see some aggression coming from Chapman's side, able to capitalize on those power play opportunities. You saw Papan doing that hard, heavy lifting for that team. But, you know, Concordia, they are catching up. I think what they are missing a little bit is when they're on that side, Chapman is able to work hard in their defense and kind of push them down. So I think Concordia really needs to work on those clean passes and be able to do a catch and shoot, which will give them a little more of an upper hand to get back up on that scoreboard and advance their lead.
So far, a very exciting game between the two teams, looking like it's very similar to that first contest between the two, where it was very close and came down to the wire, a 1-goal game, looking like it'll be very similar tonight, Caroline.
100%. Now, as we take a look at these shot statistics right here, both teams scored 8. However, Chapman able to capitalize on 3, and Concordia only 2. But also look at those exclusions there. Concordia getting a few more exclusions, whereas Chapman not so much. And that is something that really makes you stand out because it helps you, capitalize on those situations and be able to put away some goals. What do you think is something that Concordia can take as they move into this next quarter?
Maybe just a little bit more aggressive on their play, especially on defense. From what we've seen on those 6-on-5s, they've really been letting those outside shooters take all those shots, and they've gone in most of the time. Papan has scored 2 of those outside shots on those 6v5 opportunities. So playing out a little bit further, I feel like will be very beneficial for this Concordia team.
No, yes, absolutely. Meanwhile, here on Chapman's side, Placel trying to talk to his players right now. I think definitely something that they want to do is they're doing really great on their offense right now, but I have noticed, like in the past, in that first half, they are very aggressive. They come out with a lot of energy, but in the second half, they taper off a bit. So especially as a lacrosse player yourself, can you give any recommendations about what to keep up the stamina for as you continue through a game?
To be honest, comparing lacrosse to water polo is 2 very different sports. One played on the field, the other one played in the pool. But I would say is keep it simple. Easy passes, easy shots. You want the really good shots and not the okay shots. And I feel like that's what Coach is telling his Chapman team right now.
Now we're getting set for the second quarter here. See if Chapman can get a win here, but of course Concordia with the speedy sprints, it'll be interesting.
Play is restarting. See who will win this first sprint. Looks like Chapman's just going to concede it to Concordia. That's the second sprint win for these Golden Eagles. Passes it down to the wing. That will be number 2, Edwards. Edwards now again with the ball. Tries to get it to the center. Great defense by Chapman. Back down to Edwards on the wing. Up to number 10, Corbett. And Corbett with the goal.
Great chat there from Coach Greenawalt on the Concordia side. Of course, they're able to put one away there, and it's now tied.
3-3 game right now at the start of the second period between 2 of Orange County's finest schools. Chapman gets it into the center. It's a shot and a great save by Soto.
Now that's a situation we had already seen. Soto doing a great job of those saves, but Chapman's team, I was talking about those cross cage shots. Those are really important. Make sure you're not shooting at the goalie. Those cross cage shots is really what is going to get you onto that board.
Down to number 10, Corbett. Gets it to the other wing. Shot just off the crossbar. Francis now with the ball. Sees open Fricker down the field. Fricker tries to get it in over Soto, but Soto with the diving save.
Now that's the risk. With a goalie coming all the way out of the cage, Fricker saw a chance and opportunity, but she did have a player on her, so she couldn't quite get the height or the distance that she wanted there.
Smiley and Corbett played patty cake there for a little bit. And then Corbett loses the ball. Some great defense by Chapman. Going downfield. This is Papan. Gets it over the Fricker for the goal.
What a Batman and Robin duo. Like you were talking about, Fricker and Papan, they work together so well. You see in that last replay right there, you thought Papan was going to take it, but she did a great job of doing a quick pass and shoot, tripping Soto out, making sure that she wouldn't know where the goal was coming from, and then Fricker able to add that to her goal percentage. You know, she's trying to break another record here. She already broke one this season with the most amount of goals in entire Chapman history, but now looking to break the second most amount. I think she already broke the second most amount of goals here in this season, but maybe she'll break the number 1 spot.
Yes, she broke the season goals record for Chapman Panthers, the second place, beating out Jennifer Manship, who they were both tied at 103 before today, and in the game prior against Cal Lutheran, there goes Alyssa Fricker breaking that record, becoming second for goals in one season by a Chapman Panther.
Absolutely. Definitely Fricker wanting to try to further her record here. She has done such an incredible job and is such a core player for this Chapman team. And especially earlier, she had a little bit more of a tough game, so it was tough to only get one goal out of that. But here, she seems like she's revitalized, she's ready, she's renewed, and she's going to keep adding on to that tally.
Coming out of the timeout now, Concordia with the ball, down 4-3 with 6:10 left in the second period. Looking to retaliate after the Panthers took the lead just now from a beautiful pass and shoot play between Fricker and Papan. Gets it over to the other flat. Looking for the shot. Couple fakes and just floats it into the opposite corner. That's Concordia's number 24 right there. My apologies, number 14. That'll be Herzog.
Yeah, that was Maddie Herzog, the grad student from Fresno, California. She's added a couple more goals onto this season. She actually faced Biola. They faced Biola today, and she graduated from Biola. So now she's here at Concordia Irvine.
Already got her little revenge game before, as there was a shot by Fricker off the goalie's hands. Gonna stay Chapman ball. Down to Cunningham on the wing. Tries to get it over to the opposite wing and just a little short. Now here's Soto with the ball. Finds an open player down Pool. Gets it over to the other wing, very open, and a beautiful save by Francis.
Francis has been a powerhouse for the Panthers over this season, and of course, even today here, she is the best in the SCIAC with saves and her save percentage at .625.
Zoe Francis, the best at reading other players, other shooters like a book, as she just did there. And it's another shot and another goal for these Chapman Panthers.
And that one was just beautifully executed by Nina Bastic. Incredibly done. You can see it right there in that replay. She is also an incredibly important player for them. Only a freshman. She comes from Park City, Utah. She also was on the first team for USA Water Polo Academic All-America. Now she's here, and she's doing a great job for the Panthers.
Gets it down to the wing. Up to number 4. Down to number 20. Up to 4. That's Tukos. And it's a shot and goal for Concordia.
Getting a bit of seesaw action here, just a back and forth between Concordia and Chapman. Beautifully put away there. That one was done by number 10, Allison Corbett. She finds the back of the net on that one. They're still tied here. You can see it's that back and forth. Despite the division difference, these two teams are very well matched.
Corbett having herself a really good first half. 3 points already as Chapman shoots, and it's rejected by Soto.
In this second quarter, we're seeing a lot more back and forth. Chapman taking that early lead in this first quarter, a lot more swimming here, and maybe Chapman losing a little bit of their confidence that they had in that first.
Down to Brubaker. Up top. And that's the end of the shot clock for Concordia. Great defense by Chapman. Timeout called. Concordia looking to get some subs into the game.
Yeah, definitely a lot of back and forth we're seeing here. Like we were expecting, a tight game between these two teams. But seems like Chapman is losing a bit of their momentum, not being able to put away those goals when they are on offense. But now they've got a 6-on-5 opportunity. We saw Papan be a really strong player for them during these times. So it is something that maybe she will be a core player now. Placel is talking to them and showing them a bit of a strategy as they definitely want to get back up here in this second quarter.
Chapman looking to take the lead now with 3:30 left in the second period. So far, the goals for both teams. For Concordia, we got one from Blem, we got one from Acosta, two from Corbett, and one from number 14, Herzog. And then for the Chapman Panthers, one from Eves, one from Fricker, two from Papan, and one from Bastic. Now Papan gets it down to her wing. Back up to Papan, to Fricker. Down to Eves. Back up to Fricker. Papan looking for the shot. Passes it out. Just off the crossbar, but Chapman retains it. Reset on the shot clock as well. And now it's back to a 6-on-6. Ordinary foul called on Concordia. Papan just a little strong on that shot, goes over the goal.
Great 6-on-5 passing there. They did a great job. Papan's kind of fake pass where she didn't even look, really strong moves there, but unfortunately they weren't able to capitalize on that situation.
Down to number 2, Edwards, back up to Tukos, back down to Edwards. Playing a little patty cake, as I've said before. Ordinary foul called on Chapman. And at the end of the shot clock, a little desperation shot, but Concordia retains it off of Zoe Francis. Tukos passes it up. Back to Tukos, the star. Now it's Edwards. Edwards with the shot, and a great save by Francis, being patient in front of the goal.
And a 6-on-5 just called, but you saw there they were running a 1-2 side drive, trying to get something moving down there for their offense. But Francis said, nope, I'm shutting the door on you guys, and keeps it tied here in the second.
Papan now with the ball. Gets it down to Eves. Concordia playing a tight defense, and a great save by Soto off the bounce shot from Fricker. But it retains Chapman ball. And Eves tries to get it to the other wing, just a little short, throws it away. Now Concordia looking to retaliate.
Yeah, in those situations, you want to make sure your long passes are strong. It's important to have that short, clean passing, but long passes will get you far.
And a 6-on-5 now for Concordia. And just outside on that shot from Concordia's number 11, Smiley. Chapman now with the extra player. Or my apologies, back to 6s. Now the extra player for Chapman. It's almost like I can look into the future at this point. Eves now with the ball. Papan down to the wing. Back up to Fricker. Papan into Eves. Shot, and just goes over the crossbar on that one. Concordia now with the ball.
Another 6-on-5 for Chapman there. Unfortunately, unable to get another one off there. I think they're kind of psyching themselves out here in the end of this second quarter.
Concordia now with the ball. Gets it up to 2, Edwards. Edwards with the ball. 3 seconds left. The shot off the crossbar. And at the end of 2 periods, it's tied up at 5 apiece between Chapman and Concordia. Super close game. Caroline, what do you see from the second period?
Well, I mean, we were looking at that first quarter. Chapman coming out strong, coming out aggressive. Concordia still kind of waking up from that day game, but now they're awake, they're alive, and they are ready and locked in. And it's interesting you see it just right there at the end of that second quarter. A recent rule change allowed goalies to pass half and be able to join the field. And so they had a 7-on-6 in that last few seconds. Not the most safest move, a little risky, but it'll be interesting to see if they continue that play throughout here. So definitely an interesting rest of the game to come.
Chapman definitely coming out of the gates a little bit more aggressive in that first period. But come second period, they looked a little bit gassed. Concordia took advantage of that and tied it up at 5-5 apiece. But now, don't leave. Stay here. We're going to go to a quick ad break real quick. Once again, you're watching women's water polo on CSBN with Flow Sports. red Olympic pool as we continue this close contest between the Concordia Golden Eagles and the Chapman Panthers. Just halftime a second ago, both coaches able to talk to their players, come up with new strategies before this second half of play. Caroline, what would you say to the Chapman Panthers team before the second half?
Well, definitely they're feeling a little down, especially after that second quarter. But what I would tell them is they've got it. They've been able to pull these 6-on-5s like nobody else. All they have to do is get out of their head and just shoot and score and not think too hard.
And here's the first sprint of the second half. Chapman now trying to get it, but it's a win for Concordia. Chapman in the first 2 sprints just conceded the ball to the other team to get back on defense. Concordia now with the ball, passing it around on that right side of the pool. It's a shot off the crossbar, staged with Concordia. Along with that, a new shot clock as well. Gets it to the center. The shot, and it's a save by Zoe Francis. Out of bounds off Chapman, gonna stay Concordia. 2 opportunities already for a goal, but Zoe Francis comes up clutch in both of them. Concordia looking for an opening right now. Gets it to the opposite side and deflected off a Chapman player. That was number 17 on Chapman.
Yeah, great shot block there by Peary. Zoe Francis working hard for those amazing blocks right there, but sometimes you got to rely on your field players, and that was an exceptional shot block.
Chapman looking for a goal of their own now. Got a little rush, got to the end of the shot clock. Concordia gets the steal, looking for an opening on the other end now is Soto. Gets it to the middle. Now to the left side, another great save by Francis.
Yeah, something that is great on Chapman's side is, although Zoe Francis is an absolute beast in the water, Chapman is still helping on their field side with their defense, which is extremely important because sometimes you can't just rely all on your goalkeeper. You got to do a team effort, and they're doing a great job of that.
Fricker now with the ball. Shot clock down to 5. And now a 6-on-5 opportunity, or no, penalty shot for for Chapman. My apologies. Going to be taken by the star number 4, Alyssa Fricker. Looking to put the Chapman Panthers up 1. Here's a shot, and it's a goal for number 4, Alyssa Fricker.
Fricker doing a great job of adding to that tally. Chapman adding another one, giving them a little bit of an advantage, but you got to give credit to Concordia. They've upped their defense a lot, not allowing Chapman to get some moves about, whereas before, you know, Chapman was kind of shutting down Concordia. We're seeing a bit of a vice versa matchup here.
And that puts Fricker at 2 goals tonight. Along with her 1 assist, that is 3 points. It's Concordia passing the ball around now. Ordinary foul called. Concordia with the ball. getting low in the shot clock. 5 seconds left. It's a steal by Fricker. Foul called on Concordia. Chapman gets it back to Francis, looking to clear the ball. Fricker now with the ball. And a 6-on-5 opportunity for Chapman now.
This is the chance where they should really take advantage of this opportunity. These 6-on-5s are really what help Chapman to get up.
It's a shot off the hands of a Concordia player. Stays Chapman ball.
They'll get a new 30 here, but it is really important to get a bit of a lead here, especially as you're seeing these teams grow a little more tired. They've already played today. They need this goal.
Shot by Papan off the hands of Soto. Still Chapman ball and a new shot clock as well. Now it's 17. Bostic gets it up to Papan. Papan tries to get it into the center down low. Now it's Fricker trying to do the same, getting it in the middle. But great defense by Concordia.
Concordia really hustling there, and Soto able to retrieve that one. Chapman really needs this advantage here. I mean, both teams do. When you're coming off of another game and you're playing another game that same day, your body's tired, and it really takes a toll as you move into the second half.
Here's Concordia now. Gets it to the other side of the pool. Up top, looking for a shot. And a great save by Francis. Beautiful left-handed save.
I mean, Zoe Francis in this game already 10 saves on the night and a 67% save percentage. How can you deny her amazing capabilities in this game and for this Chapman team? She is truly a force to be reckoned with.
And now we have a penalty shot. Here's Fricker. She already scored one, and there's the second penalty shot in the back of the net. That puts Fricker at 3 goals tonight.
Take a look here at that replay. Just a beautiful off-the-water shot. So well crafted. That one wedges itself in the cage at the very top. Nothing you can do about that when it's an off-the-water like that.
Chapman widening their lead now, up 7-5. Concordia gets it up top. Back to that right side that they love. Now over to the left. A shot and just over the goal. Gonna be Chapman ball now.
Yeah, Concordia there trying to work something around, doing clean passes, but saw Chapman, they're moving their defense a lot.
And it's lacked. Just loses it.
Now that was Jamie Chin sailing down there by herself, but you know, Soto came out, and when you get big like that as the goalie, there's nothing you could do if you get a little intimidated as a field player.
Now Concordia back with the ball. On that right side again. Now to the left. Back and forth game. Great passing by Concordia, but the shot just hits the crossbar. Going to be back with Chapman now. Sends it down the pool. That's Papan. Ordinary foul called on Concordia. Papan with the ball. Gets it to Fricker for the goal.
She wasn't feeling too hot earlier, but the girl is on fire right now. Alyssa Fricker, take a look at this replay right there. beautifully executed. She is making her way downtown as she is working towards that record-breaking rule or thing here happening at Chapman. Alyssa Fricker, one for the history books.
The mark to beat for Alyssa Fricker is 129 goals. She has 4 tonight coming into this game as well. Alyssa Fricker had 104 goals, putting her at 108 overall with 2 games left in their season. It's a little bit of a far stretch to score 21 goals over a period and a half in this game and 2 other games. But if there's one player for Chapman that can do it, it's Alyssa Fricker.
Yeah, truly. I mean, we're already seeing her make such amazing moves right here. She is a senior, so she will be graduating soon as well, studying biology with a minor in psychology here at Chapman. But it is incredible what she has, and you're talking about only 2 more games left in this season, and that goes for both teams, although in different divisions. Chapman's got 1 more SCIAC game. Meanwhile, Concordia also will only have 2 more games until the tournament, but because of their current situation in their conference, I don't think they will be able to make it to that tournament. But either way, it's going to be a great end to this season.
Great end of the season, no doubt. And yes, it's going to be hard for this Chapman Panthers team losing Fricker at the end of this year, as in this game alone, she has been responsible for 4 goals and 1 assist, over half of the score for this Chapman Panthers team.
And as we get set for back to this 3rd quarter, Concordia definitely coming in with that quick chat with head coach Casey Greenawalt. It's going to be very important, that chat with them. We'll see if that really helped them here. Hopefully it does, especially as they are a very strong team, and they did beat Chapman that last time, and nothing is impossible. That 3-point lead doesn't mean too much for these Eagles. They could take that right back.
Concordia now looking to get some offense, and they do with a beautiful shot and a beautiful goal from number 11, Lanius.
Yeah, you just saw in that replay right there. Smiley has been a great scorer for them as well over this season. 17 goals coming in here, but she's increased that by quite a bit. She took another goal here and 4 shots over the course of this game.
Chin now with the ball. And just ran out of shot clock. Great defense there by Concordia as they get a fresh 30.
Yeah, that chat with Greenawalt is showing to be very useful as he's vocalizing all his stuff down there on the deck. But we'll see if Concordia can put another one here on the 6-on-5.
Concordia looking for a shot, getting low in the shot clock, and a great save by Francis. Francis gets it over to 17 on Chapman. Bostic now looking for a pass. Tries to get into the middle, Fricker. But she just gets swallowed up by this Concordia defense. Concordia now trying to shrink their deficit to just 1. Get in the middle. A great save by Francis. On goal shot. But nope, there's Francis to reject it all.
Absolutely. If there's two players on fire in this quarter and in this game, it's got to be Fricker and Francis. They're doing a great job here, especially as Concordia, looking for that off the water shot, trying to bounce that one over Francis's head, but she didn't let it go past.
Chapman now getting the momentum back on their side. They're up 8-6 now, scoring 3 goals in that third period, only allowing 1 to that Concordia side. Entering this fourth period, though, Caroline, what does Concordia need to do to get back into this game?
Well, Concordia, we know they have the strength, they have the power to come back against the Chapman Panthers, but it's really hard when you've played a game earlier in the day for both teams to come back later that day and play as hard as you did against Biola. In the first half they played against Biola, it was really tight, and coming in that second half they were able to rip through. But I think as they come in here, they just have to try to keep up with that momentum. They have the fundamental skills. It's all in the muscle memory. All they really have to do is keep that clear mind and just put away shots.
Chapman now looking to increase their overall record on the season. Coming into this, they stood at 10-11, looking to even that out at 500 with 11 wins and 11 losses, while also trying to even this series with Concordia, who leads it 1-0 with the earlier game we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast.
And it'll be interesting if they can take this winning momentum for Chapman into their next 2 games, because currently in the SCIAC, sitting at the number 3 seed, they're looking to go into that final tournament and face off against the number 2 seed, who currently in the SCIAC, I believe is CMS. So they'll be taking that as they go into the tournament, and they definitely want to take that winning momentum.
Next 2 games for these Chapman Panthers, both are home games, finishing off the season on a 5-game home stretch, including tonight. This is the third of the 5 for them. Upcoming, they've got Santa Clara University coming to town, the team in the same league as Concordia. And then also Caltech to finish off their season and finish off their SCIAC play before the playoffs. This play is about to resume. Now for Concordia, after this game, they only have 1 more game, and it's against Santa Clara.
You see here already in the sprint, Chapman has decided not to fulfill that sprint, meaning all 4 sprint wins will have gone to the Eagles.
Concordia looking to gain some momentum of their own after a kind of disappointing third period for them. Only 1 goal to Chapman's 3. Here's the shot deflected off of a Chapman player. Chapman playing tight defense, and Zoe Francis, the brick wall tonight. A great save and a great outlet pass to Papan. One-on-one opportunity. Shoots and just wide of the goal. Right as she shot it, Concordia defender came up and just batted the ball down.
Yeah, seemed like a little bit of a scuffle down there on the field. Papan did not like that coming from Concordia. You saw her a little bit of gestures. It can be really upsetting when she was that close.
Concordia now still on that right side. They've been loving it. Bobbled pass. And now it's turnover, Chapman ball. Ordinary foul called on Concordia. Some fans in attendance not really liking that call. Here's Chapman now. Another ordinary foul called on Concordia. Gets it into the middle and just swallowed up by that Concordia defense.
Yeah, that was Meg Peters trying to do a step out and execute that shot from the set position. You can hear Placel down on the deck instructing his players what to do, but Chapman wasn't able to add one to the board right there.
It's been a quiet start to this fourth period. No goals just yet. Shot, great save by Francis, and I spoke too soon. Concordia now with the goal. That was number 8 from Concordia, Ferguson, her first of the night.
Yeah, take a look at that replay right there. Now, Francis had just blocked another shot right there, but then quickly right after, she had a reset, and then Concordia was able to put that one away by Ferguson. Amazing job right there. She's also just a freshman from Bakersfield, California. Coming in this game, she had 42 goals on this season, but now she is playing hard and adding one to the tally there, and it's only a 1-point difference here in the fourth.
1-point lead for these Panthers. Trying to make it 2, but a great save by Soto. Almost got through the outreached hands.
Yeah, great block by Soto. She got up into that top right corner, an incredibly difficult block. She was able to be at the iron wall for the Eagles right there.
Here's Concordia, slowing it down a little bit. Still on that right side. Gets it to the middle. And just runs out of shot clock. Chapman sends it down. Fricker probably didn't realize that the ball was right in front of her with a 1-on-2 opportunity.
Yeah, when you're down there in the water, even when you're listening, you've got water in your ears, so it's difficult to hear everything that's going on.
Concordia now, some aggressive defense by Eves. Papan now. Foul called on Papan. 3 seconds left. Shot just over the goal. Chapman ball. Francis sends the ball down. Gets it into the middle. And 6-on-5 opportunity now for Chapman, looking to widen their goal margin. Make it a 2-goal game. Gets it down to their wing. Bastic up to Papan. To Fricker. Into the middle. Just off the crossbar on that shot. Fricker now. Wide open. Shoots. Deflected off a Concordia player. And it looked like an own goal.
That was absolutely amazing right there. A definite tussle on that Chapman side. Take a look at this replay right there. Fricker trying to get that one. Landed right in front of number 12, Nadolski, who popped that one into the back of the cage and gave them another point on that board.
Nadolski with the little flick shot, some would say.
Definitely a little flick shot, and it's kind of crazy that's coming from only a freshman on this Chapman team. Exciting for the future for these Panthers.
Concordia now with the goal. Quick offense for Concordia as they see the minutes winding down on this game. Only 3.5 left.
That one was put away by Tukos, our key player of the game. We haven't seen her too much right there, but she fired back with revenge, and that was an incredibly clean and beautiful shot put away there by Tukos.
Haven't said her name much tonight, but she has put up some stats tonight. 1 goal so far. That was her first, but she also has 4 assists tonight as well. Has multiple ordinary fouls called on Concordia. Shot by Chapman. Looked to be off the hands of Concordia. Down to Eves now on the wing. Gets it up to the star, Fricker. Tries to get into the middle. Shot and goal for Chapman. That's coming from Chapman's number 12, Nadolski. Coming up big in the end when it matters. First with the flick shot and then a powerful dunk on the goal.
Absolutely. Annie Nadolski, once again, only a freshman. She's a set player. Previously, she came from Kentwood High School, where she had Best Offensive and Defensive MVP awards. So it's definitely super exciting to see her put away those 2 goals right now, and something to look forward for the future of this Chapman program.
While a lot of this Chapman offense comes from Fricker, they do have young players on the team as well. As shot clock winds out for Concordia, Chapman ball now. Back on the young players for this team. Multiple of their contributing players are juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. Only a few seniors on this team. Timeout called by Chapman. Coach Placel wants to talk it over a little bit more with his players with 2:15 left on the game clock.
Yeah, right there. You're seeing Concordia fight hard on that offensive side. They're doing a great job of setting up and still working the ball around, but it comes down to those shots. Unfortunately, with those shots, Zoe Francis is doing a great job of blocking them, or I think the Concordia players are psyching themselves out just a bit, so that's why some of those balls are flying a little bit over the cage instead of into the cage. So definitely a little frustrating for them, especially as they're swimming all the way down there. They're setting up really well. It just comes down to those moments of execution.
Both goalies having themselves a pretty good night tonight. For Zoe Francis, it's 63.6% save percentage. And then on the other side for Soto, it's 61.5. With both having double-digit save counts, Soto beating out Francis just by 2 with 16 to Zoe Francis's 14 saves tonight. However, in the goals allowed category, as you see on the scoreboard, it's all Chapman, up 10-8 now with 2:15 left on the clock in this 4th period. As play resumes, Chapman ball starting back with number 1, the goalie, Zoe Francis. Francis sends it to Fricker, looking to open up this offensive set for Chapman. Passing it around, Fricker rotates up to that top middle spot. Shot, saved by Soto. Adds to her save count. That's now at 17.
Yes, Soto has been the core rock for Concordia. They've been able to really heavily rely on her, and she's been such an amazing force in the water.
Over to the other side. Great save by Francis. Both goalies have started strong and continued throughout this entire game.
Yeah, definitely Soto, even only a sophomore, she's a really strong player, where even last season she had 250 saves. Currently, when she came in here, 218, but, you know, looking to top that into the end of the season.
A couple of ordinary fouls for Chapman, but just ran out of shot clock time. His timeout is called. By the Concordia Golden Eagles.
Yeah, as we come down into the final minute of this game, indeed a hard battle on both sides, but especially I just want to emphasize it is so much work to come from playing a game earlier in the day, and especially a really hard game on both sides. Although Concordia with that win and Chapman with that loss, those were still close games. And then coming into tonight's game, knowing that these two teams are evenly matched, they've done an exceptional job on both teams.
Along with that, it was a hot one today. Definitely in the pool as well. Nothing covering these players from a little sun, as the high was 73 and sunny all day. A little bit of clouds here and there.
Looking forward to some weather anchoring from Ben Bauman one day.
Who
Maybe
knows?
Chapman News.
Chapman News, hit me up. I'm open for whatever.
He'll tell
Now
you
as
all
we
about the
resume
clouds.
play, Concordia now with the ball, looking to put something up in this fourth period. Trying to get some momentum back on their side. The shot off the crossbar, Chapman ball. Looking for that quick offense. Now pressing the goalie, Zoe Francis. Ordinary foul called on Concordia. That's another ordinary foul called on them.
Chapman trying to run out the shot clock right now, working that around all across the grid.
There was about a 20-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Now less than that, as Concordia had the opening. Pass was just a little too strong. "30-second timeout called by Concordia. Down 2. That was their final timeout. 33 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, Chapman trying to run out the shot clock there. There was a beautifully attempted shot by Tukos, but that one bounced off the cage. And we're going to see what happens here in the final seconds of this quarter.
Ordinary foul called on Chapman. Trying to go for a little tip shot goal there. And as the clock winds down, Concordia little scuffle there between Papan and Concordia's number 3, Blem. 4-on-6 now.
Seems like it's a 5-meter, or it is the end of the game.
It's the end of the game. And at the end of the game now, between the Concordia Golden Eagles and the Chapman Panthers, final score is 8 for the Golden Eagles and 10 for the Chapman Panthers, evening out their season win-loss result at 11-11, while also evening out the series between these Golden Eagles at 1-1.
Yeah, giving one apiece. Chapman able to come on that revenge tour and take back against those Concordia Eagles. But incredible job there on both the goalies' sides. We were talking about Soto and Francis being very strong players for them. But then, of course, also their field players, Alyssa Fricker, and then a variety of different field players on the Concordia side. We saw definitely two costs, but along with many others as well.
Papan started off strong in this game with 2 goals in 6v5 opportunities for the Chapman Panthers. Then Fricker came in later, stole the show, and then Nadolski with 2 at the end there to put the Panthers up 10-8. Now we're getting some full game highlights on the screen as well. Just an all-around great effort by both teams, and especially on the defensive end. A very well-fought defensive battle between these two teams.
Absolutely. Not just on the goalkeeper's side, but on the field as well. Working as a team, a strong team effort to make sure that they're helping, and that's why that score stayed so close. And especially because of that, the offensive, they weren't able to capitalize on as many plays as they were. And you can see in all of these, they fought hard, and plus Sal, you could hear him down on the sidelines, and it was truly an amazing game to watch.
Yes, looking at the goals for tonight, we mentioned Fricker before. We mentioned her as the Batman. We mentioned Papan as the Robin. Both of them having great games. But another player that we forgot to mention before was Nadolski. Nadolski coming in later in the game, putting up 2 goals, one with a little flick goal, and then at the end, just the dunk to seal the deal for these Chapman Panthers.
No, absolutely. Nadolski really doing an amazing job. But let's bounce back to our Batman, our superhero, which was Alyssa Fricker. She bounced back from her first game earlier today where she only got to put away 1 goal. But here in these highlights, look at our MVP go. She came back stronger than ever and just truly all around an amazing player.
Had a little bit of a rough game against Kowloon before, only putting up 1 goal, but sure came in clutch in this game, putting up 4 goals, 1 assist to get 5 points throughout the entire night. And she is our game MVP for tonight. We'll have Grace Luttrell down there in a second to get a little MVP interview with her.
Absolutely. Excited to talk with Alyssa Fricker. She's been doing an exceptional job all over this season. It will be sad to lose her, but yeah, you're talking about Nadolski, only a freshman, and we're a lot of freshmen actually playing in this game. Younger players, although we're seeing our beautiful seniors leave and depart this year, there's still a lot of great hope and great prospects and talent for this Chapman team. They're doing an amazing job, and it'll be very interesting to see what they take as they move into the SCIAC playoffs.
Well, we've given enough love to Fricker throughout this game. We're actually going to switch our in-game MVP to Kendall Papan. Papan also had a very good game. Started off the game super hot with 2 goals and 6v5 opportunities. Finished the game in total with 7 points, 2 goals at the beginning, and then 4 assists later on. Just a very dominant all-around performance by Papan and this Panthers squad.
Absolutely. Papan is a really awesome player. I also got to know her when we were working on some packages earlier in this season. Got to play a couple games with her. She is such an amazing player and athlete and incredibly kind person. Also studying communications here as a sophomore at Chapman. And last year, she was in the 2024 All-American Honorable Mentions and All-SCIAC second team. She's only a sophomore, so still a younger player for us, for Chapman as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what she can take as we move into the next season, and excited to hear from her.
Coming after this game for the Chapman Panthers, I've mentioned it before, but just to remind you, there are 2 more home games for these Chapman Panthers before they enter the SCIAC playoffs. Coming in, we got next Friday, Santa Clara University coming to town to take on the Panthers. And then finally, that Saturday, the very next day at 11 a.m., Caltech's coming in to try to beat the Chapman Panthers. And now we're going to toss it down to our sideline reporter, Grace Luttrell, with the MVP of the game.
Hey guys, I'm here with Kendall Papan, and I'm super excited. You guys had a great game, amazing plays all around. You had some great scores yourself. I'd just like to know, like, how was this game compared to the last game? I know you talked a lot about having that communication open on your team. Did you see that in this game today?
I definitely saw it in our game today. I think from our game this morning and now moving on, just picking up the tempo and making sure that we're all really communicating and working not individually but as a team, as I had told you, is really, really important. Making sure that this game kind of was to set us up and help us for playoffs where we'll be playing Claremont Mudscripts. So I think it was a really good game, and us winning that game was super good for us, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, amazing. You guys did great. Looking forward to those playoffs, how do you feel? How does the team feel?
We're feeling good. I think in the beginning we kind of had a little rocky of a start, and it was hard to kind of build our momentum. But as soon as we were able to build that, we've now found it, and it's just super, super great. Everything that Coach Eric puts in, Coach BJ, all of the players showing up at practice, and all the film we go through, it's been really, really good, and I'm excited to see what's to come.
Awesome, thank you. We look forward to seeing you play in the playoffs, and good luck to you. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Well, thank you so much, Grace. Thank you to our crew. Thank you, Caroline, for being here. Once again, I was Ben Bauman, Caroline Chang. We had a great night with you guys tonight, and we'll see you next time on CSBN with Flow Sports.